That right there is where we cast one of a couple of dozen footprints that we found here, and we come up here after the Sinks Bigfoot video was filmed. I'm back up here again about the same time as the year before, because we've been getting vocalization reports out of this area. I've had 2 different sets of people contact me this month saying that they're hearing vocalizations about a mile or 2 from where we're at right now. I stopped here to check around because this is where we found the footprints last year after the video. We actually went to a bunch of locations. We started spreading out from there. And about at the end of the day of our investigation, look, that looks like almost like a track out there by the...
Yeah, I was looking at that. And then right in front of it, that
looks... That is in the crud.
There's one right next to you on the ground.
Another one there.
Right here. You see that?
Yeah.
This looks like something was piddling around here by the water.
Yeah, it's just too bad they're not definitive enough. They may be a few days old.
I just am not able to even sink in there.
Yeah, I understand. You're not sinking, and it did. I'm not sinking either. Look, I lifted my other foot up. I'm putting my entire weight right behind what looks like the heel of a Bigfoot shaped track, and you can hardly even tell that I was standing there. But this looks like the hill area, and then right above the hill is the mid-tarsal area. The toes go in that direction. My foot in these hiking shoes are 12.5 inches long, and this looks 2 inches longer than my foot. It looks to be about a 14-inch track in length, and the width of that thing, my foot in the shoe's 4.5 inches wide, and I'm all the way to the left of this, and I still got a couple of inches out that way. It looks like 3 inches. It's about 7 inches wide at the toe area. That's a good sized track, and that's consistent with one of the Bigfoot tracks we were finding last year. We found 2 sets of tracks, one that was over 16 and one that was right around 14. Another track.
I know.
Let's go in the other direction too. I'm not seeing boot tread in there, and that sunk in. That sunk in deep. Look, I can't even sink in right here.
How big is it?
Check out this track, folks, in the same spot that we found tracks last year after that that Bigfoot sighting caught on video, the Sinks one. Look at the hill. The hill is tapering around the 6-inch mark. Let me get down. I can get closer to it this way. Let's see. This thing sunk in so deep. It's over 5 inches where it tapers at the hill. And then up at the toe area, the toe splay is 7 inches, over 7 inches. And then the length on this bad boy, it is almost 15 inches. This is consistent with one of the tracks we were finding last year's, and it's heading off that way. And Jenny and I found other places where it left tracks not as nice as that one. That is badass.
Well, it comes up out of the water.
It's almost as if it jumped to sink in that deep. I bet you he was standing on the shore over there and jumped. But look,
he's probably just standing on that rock right there.
You people, I weigh over 200 pounds. Watch. Jenny, will you film me? I am going to jump in front of that track. Look, I don't even sink. I'm stomping down as hard as I can right there, and I'm barely making a depression. Look how heavy this giant creature was to slam in right there that deep. That makes me think he leaped from across over there somewhere, because I don't see his tracks in the water.
No.
And I think for him to be able to sink like that, he made a leap. This looks pretty fresh.
Well, it's muddy.
This looks like within the last 24 hours, maybe even today.
That also might be some of one right along here. That's where the hill went in. Right there. Okay, let me point out the top of it, because I can't even see it through the... Oh. Right here. Up. Along here. That I can't tell for sure.
All right, that's just amazing. Most amazing to me is how far it sunk in, and I can't even hardly make an impression, because you see where I jumped up and down right next to it, and I got closer to the water where it was hopefully soft, but that thing made an impact from jumping across the river, I'm suspecting, or a creek, whatever you want to call this. All right, want to measure one of the other tracks that we saw over here close to the water. See, it's not jumping over here, it's just walking around, and it still sinks in deep as hell. Let's see, so the big toe area and the hill is just a little over 14 inches, and the width on this up at the toes over 7.5 up at the toe area, and it tapers below the mid-tarsal break area. It shows up really well on this. It is close to 6 inches where it starts to taper at the heel area. Now, I want to point out to you guys that a footprint is the damage it's doing to the substrate, the soil, and different conditions. It'll do different damage. It's not necessarily the true identity of the foot. Did you hear that? I heard like a whistling, screeching sound to our left while I was talking off that way. Wow. People, I've gotten 2 reports of vocalizations in this area. So Jenny and I come right to the closest spot that we have found footprints before, and we have found dozens in this area, casted one. And this one right here is definitely a candidate to be cast. Crazy. The footprint is so deep, and it's just amazing it sunk in this deep, because I can hardly sink into this, that we're going to cast it, and we're going to use 5 pounds of material, because this thing's so huge. It is close to 15 inches in length, at the widest part 7.5, and it's 2 or 3 inches deep. So we're going to cast it. 5 pounds of casting material. Not very often that you find a footprint that's in such a place that you can cast it. It's level, and it is pushed in on all sides, so you got a great area to hold it. Those toes busted in up at the top really well too. Look how gravelly it is. See, and this gravel gives it a lot of, I know it can take some impact. I mean, I want to slam in there for you guys. I'm on one foot just slamming as hard as I can. Look at that. I can hardly sink in. I'm 200 pounds. What did it weigh? It's just unreal. There is some squatches in this area. We know that there's more than one. We found more than one size track.
I just want it to be like pancake batter. Okay.
We found this perfect timing. We got this hike we want to do in the vocalization spot, so we can let this set up while we go do on our hike.
Oops.
Wow. It is so deep it took the whole 5 pounds and didn't even, I mean, it come to the top, it didn't overflow.
Okay, I'm gonna set this aside for just a sec.
Perfect. I think we should always have a 5 pound bag on hand wherever we go. Just amazing. Just the amazing track. I cannot believe the depth on this bugger. There's been a history of Bigfoot sightings in this area, over a dozen in this part of the county that I can just count off at the top of my head. So there's always been Bigfoot sightings here. Jenny and I have been searching for Bigfoot here since 2010 because of the sightings, and then the video that happened last year. And after vocalizations, we're still finding stuff like this. And it wasn't just one footprint. There are several tracks of it walking around this little creek. We already measured that one for you guys. And then that one's obviously from the same one, same dimensions. And then Jenny pointed out that there may even be a smaller one. Maybe this is the mother or the father and the juvenile. But we have found juvenile tracks in this river before. So maybe they have an infant with them. Just heard a snap over there where we just got done hiking from. And Jenny is digging up the track. She cast it, so it is her that's gonna pull up the track. I don't want to break her track because I've broken plenty of my own. And if it does break, stuff happens. This is thick, so hopefully it stands up to the abuse of being dug out of the ground. Just getting nice and wide around it. It has sat here for a little over 2 hours while we went and did a hike and found a bedding spot and dozens of more tracks. Some of them this size, close to 16, and others close to 14, which is the other size track that we're finding in the area. We were finding the same 2 size tracks last year after the Bigfoot video out here was filmed. Amazing. If someone hoaxed that video and those tracks last year, why would they come back a year later and do it again? And I just don't have any buddies that weigh 800 pounds to smash in like that. And it obviously was not dug, it was compressed. Jen's just got an amazing angle on this. I should always have her dig them up. She's a lot more careful than I am. Look at how far she's having to dig in to get under that track. We believe, because of the tracks and everything that we found across the river, that the creature leaped across the river is why it hit with so much impact to sink about 3 inches when we can't even sink in not even a quarter of an inch. I'm 200 pounds and couldn't do it. But the tracks come and go from off the top of those rocks that way. We hiked back there. A bit heavy?
No, there's some
Vegetation stuff.
vegetation.
Alright, just take your time. No hurry. Wow. Alright, we're gonna bag that up. And we're gonna bring all that soil with us and let it slowly wear off, and then we'll go through that soil and look for hairs and stuff that may have been left behind. And then we'll preserve this soil, because everybody talks about the DNA that you can get just from where something stepped.
This is how I'm gonna do it.
Jenny casted this big bad boy, so she's taking all the responsibility to collect the cast. And it's a giant. 7 inches at the toes, right around 16 inches in length, sunk in about 3 inches. There's the money, folks. The bottom of the cast. That's where the foot touched.
We're just gonna leave all this on here and let it dry up and flake away. I'm not gonna tug on it.
Good job. Best Bigfoot partner ever.